our agenda. So we're going to go ahead and go through the initial setup and the syncing process, a little overview of how an amazing product this actually is. We're going to show you how it's going to help you stay in the flow and how you're going to be able to navigate your sphere a lot better and maintain that top of mind with all of your contacts, potential leads, and everyone in between. So we will go ahead and get that started. The initial setup and syncing. So the great thing about this is that if you are using your CB NorCal email, CB Realty email, it will automatically connect to that. So it will go through a little syncing process. It will also pull any contacts that you have previously saved on your Outlook email or Gmail. So that's going to be another way that it will assist you keeping on top of mind with your contacts without having to siphon and add them in different spots. Now all you really have to do is add them to either your MoxiEngage or your Outlook Gmail contacts, and they will automatically pop up in Engage. So the initial setup, once you go into MoxiEngage or MoxieWorks, it will show you your profile. After you hit your profile, you'll see a nice bar on the top hand side where it'll show you all of your products. Initiate the setup for Engage. You will click on there. It's going to give you an option to either connect to your Outlook email or your Gmail. So those are the only two options. If you already have your Outlook email at cbrealty.com, at cbnorcal.com, those will be connected on the back end. If by any chance you are using your own personal domain email, like firstname@firstnamelastname.com, and that's your email address, and it is connected to an Outlook account, there will be a connection issue because all of our products are Microsoft Office 365. They are connected to that profile. So if you have another Outlook account, there will be an issue, but the way we bypass that is by connecting your gmail.com website onto there. So that's another way you could come around it if you want to maintain using your Outlook, your personal Outlook. It is connected to what is on your Trident or your HR paperwork. So if there's an issue with that email, go ahead and contact your office admin, either Myra or Nicole, and they'll be able to assist to make sure which email is assigned to your profile. So once you've selected what email you want to assist, this is going to walk through the Gmail section. If you are using your Gmail account, it will ask you to sign in through that process. So keep that in mind to make sure you have all of your login information accessible when you are going to be linking the process. Of course, if you're using that Outlook, you won't have that issue at all. And so once you connect it, it will have a syncing period. So it's usually around 15 minutes that it's going to start connecting your personal Outlook email or your Gmail to your MoxiEngage. And from there on, it's going to be doing work on the back end, pulling out any contacts you have in there. You will receive an email letting you know that syncing process has finalized. That way you could just leave it, let it do its thing, and then come back once your contacts have been uploaded for you. Once you have some contacts in there and you connected the syncing process, it will ask you for a goal. It automatically has a 175,000 GCI goal. It requires me to move forward. So, I put myself that goal to make 175,000 in GCI goals, which I know all of you could also implement on yourself. So you could put in whatever number is best for you. You could set up a number and obviously edit it in the future if you want to go more in detail and what that number means and how you can make that number a lot more personal. Reach out to your office manager, so either Todd or Greg, and they'll be able to walk through and see exactly what listings you'll be able, or what prices, or your GCI goals, and how to get that going for yourself. So that's going to be one of the steps that you could do with Engage, that it will start getting connected to your listings or your sales and help you implement and keep that in track right in front of you. Always, whenever you're going to interact with a contact, you will also make sure keep that top of mind and seeing how you're developing your business and how you're keeping that top of mind throughout the year. So after you've already connected your Moxie, your email provider, and you've edited your goal for the year, your next step will be the syncing process. So if it's the first time you enter Engage, those are going to be the pop-up windows that are going to pop up. The windows are going to pop up. So it's going to be what email you want to connect to, what is your GCI goal, and the next one will be, are you ready for the migration? And that is that one-time deal that I was mentioning, is when Moxie, who will connect with InTouch on the back end and pull whatever statuses you have in InTouch and migrate them over to Moxie Engage for you. So that's why the previous workshops I was mentioning is to really focus that everything is cleaned up, organized in InTouch before you do that migration, because we want to make sure that everything is nice and clean on one side, that it migrates over perfectly on the other side. Of course, there's always little tech glitches, but we want to make sure that we did our due diligence and make sure we didn't lose track of any important contacts that we had in InTouch. So if you do the migration and you press that magical button, it will do everything on the back end. It will also let you know that you have an email is ready for that. So if you do the migration, it will pull up notes, it will pull up your groups, it will pull up different statuses that you already have implemented in your InTouch. Katrin, I'll get to you in 1 second. So once after that, you have the migration, it'll take its time, you'll receive that email to let you know that everything is ready. Or let's say you want to just get rid of everything in InTouch, you don't want to bother with the migration, you could import your own contacts at your own leisure. You could do them by CSV file and do your imports through Excel sheets, or you could manually input them on there. But if you do the import, notes won't transfer over, listing alerts won't transfer over. So those are things that you will have to do manually. Unlike with the migration, the notes, the group settings, the statuses, those will transfer over. The listing alerts are one of the things that won't transfer over, but we'll go ahead and go into that in the future. And then your groups will transfer over, and now your contacts will be under My People. So those are going to be the windows that will pop up the first time you enter into Engage. Let's say you're not ready for the migration. There's a little button that says skip migration for now, and it will pop up again the next time around. But like I mentioned, that migration button is only a one and done deal, so make sure you're ready to let go of InTouch before you hit that button. Yes, Katrin.
What is it? What do you mean by hold off on this if possible to wait for date migration?
That's if you haven't done anything on InTouch. If you haven't even looked at your contacts, or if you haven't looked into that, I will hold off. But if you're already ready and you want to let go of anything from InTouch, you hit that migration button and everything will move forward. So it's up to that individual, depending on how confident you are with your contacts and how set you are to facilitate that migration. And if you want, we could touch base on this a little later on to see what step you are to hit that migration button.
Okay, yeah, because I'm interested also in migrating listing alerts, so the timing of all of that, right?
Yeah.
Which has to be done manually, but I don't understand the timing of all that.
Yeah, we'll go through that in a little bit on how to set up those listing alerts and how to how to disconnect them from InTouch and how to activate them into Moxie. We will want to make sure that there isn't a gap in between. So we want to make sure that your contacts are constantly being connected to without a lag. on there. But that's going to be a little bit later on. Thank you, Katrin. So next, we're going to go about what is Engage, what are the different Engage settings, and your agent dashboard. So they have made it a lot more simpler for you to go in and have all the important information right at your fingertips. What is MoxiEngage? MoxiEngage is your CRM tool. So it's the tool that is replacing your InTouch CRM. This is where you're going to be able to do all of your contact management, your email marketing, MLS integration. So it's integrated with your MLS. You'll be able to do listing announcements, doing listing alerts within that, your goal settings. So it allows you to add your GCI goal onto there to make sure you're keeping on track of that, and also task recommendations. So let's say you don't have an active listing at the moment, but you want to keep track of your contact to your, when was the last time you reached out to Joe Smith? Well, this program will actually kind of give you a task recommendation and keep track of when was the last time you reached out to a particular contact. Let's put that on the top of the list, front and center for you to get that information and go straight and contact that particular person. So the different settings, everything's going to be in the gear. We are going to have to get a little bit used to the new verbiage. Contacts are now my people. If you're going to enter people, they're my people, and people leads. So it's a little bit, there's going to be a verbiage change. But managing all the settings are under these 3 tabs. So they're going to be under the little gear on the top right. We're going to have people, calendar, notifications, and subscriptions. So under people, you'll be able to see your leads, your task managers, groups. Your calendar is connected to your Outlook. So let's say you have on your Outlook email, you have all of your calendar invites, either your co-banker notifications, your co-banker webinars, or your personal showings and open houses. It will actually auto-populate onto your MoxiEngage. So you have two different locations where you could start keeping track of your calendar. That way you know exactly, oh, I need to book something with this person, and don't have to switch onto your phone to check on your email if you're available that day. It's all connected within that. You'll also be able to edit your notifications for your emails to make sure that you're getting those alerts and being able to get top of mind the moment that your contact reaches out to you. You'll be able to set up neighborhood news and listing announcements. So your listing announcements are going to be kind of like those first e-blasts when you get that listing and you want to make sure all your contacts know about it. That's where you're going to be able to set that up. And also neighborhood news, that's going to be a little bit more like a market report that will be sent out once a month to your contacts, buyers or sellers. So this is all going to be within one of the suites. The dashboard is all going to be front and center. There aren't a lot of colors and bells and whistles to kind of get you distracted. It's all in one section. So you'll have your dashboard where all of your home page is at. You'll have a nice widget onto there. They're making it a lot more simple, a lot more user-friendly, kind of how we're familiar with Desk, and there's tiles all organized. The dashboard is going to get similar to that, a lot more minimalized, central, just for you and your easy access. You'll have your people, which is your contacts or leads. You'll have the overview of which how you have them marked, either sellers or buyers or potential leads. Like I mentioned, your calendar is synced up to your Outlook, and all the other sections are all under your dashboard on the top. So if we hit the dashboard, you'll see all of these sections on the right-hand side. Stay in flow, active feed, to-do list, calendar, sales flow, goals, and my listing. These obviously you're able to organize however is what's more important to yourself, but this is how you'll be able to kind of keep yourself top of mind and seeing who do you want to stay in the flow, or active feed will be so-and-so Jane Smith has opened your neighborhood news, or Monique has opened her listing alert and has actually saved one of the faves that she got. So those are going to be all in your dashboard the moment you enter it. So a little bit more on what does stay in the flow, active feed, what does all of that mean? So stay in flow will display 5 contacts each day to connect with. So I know that's part of our closer club, part of all of um our our goals is to always have that constant contact with our clients. Well, this makes it a lot easier because all we have to do is kind of put ourselves in a calendar reminder. Let me go check Engage. Engage will do the hard work for you. They'll reach out for yourself. They'll pull up those 5 contacts that you haven't reached out in a while, and it'll give you that information. Okay, give them a call, text them, have you emailed them. And that way you'll keep in track. You'll get rid of those 5. Next day, you'll have a new group of 5. And that way, it's going to make it a lot easier to make those touch points without making it a homework assignment, making it a whole day of, oh my goodness, I haven't reached out to 10 people this day. I need to go do that. It helps you keep in mind and stay on top of everything. Activity feed, it'll display any recent activities, like I mentioned. So um, listing alerts when your client has opened it. Neighborhood news, did they actually receive it? Did they click through it? Did they actually go in there? It will tell you all of that through your activity feed. Your to-do list, so let's say you have your own personal task, prep for an open house, contact this client, closing dates are coming in, it'll keep track of that calendar, all of your sales pro classes, all of your virtual workshops, your office meetings will populate on that calendar to keep you on track. Your sales flow, so it'll keep track of your current progress towards any transactions, any series of zones. So make sure that either you're on your buyer's transactions, seller transactions, and have you done any marketing option for that new listing? Have you done any prospecting for that potential listing? This will actually keep you on track and keep those in zones. And that goal is going to keep following you throughout that year to kind of get you that motivation to beat that goal and crush all of your other past milestones. That way you can really leverage yourself and make you feel proud of all the hard work that you're implementing right now and how it's going to showcase on your goal for the end of the year and see how many awards you received and you worked hard for. And obviously my listings, all of your hard work, will make sure that it's all displayed, it's all current, and then also your sold listings, because they're all associated with your MLS. We make sure that that's connected and it's all showcasing in that place. So how is it going to help you stay in flow? It'll help you kind of guide you through, like I mentioned, it'll keep you on a daily outreach, stay in the flow, gets you that 5 contacts throughout the day, throughout the week. So marketing zone, people to target, like I mentioned. And then potential people, how are they a prospect? Are you in active transaction with that person? Or are they pending? They will let you keep track of those. How many people are prospects? You have 6 prospects. How many people are you in an active transaction? Well, I only have 1 person and they're the buyers. I haven't closed anything. Is anything pending? Well, I have that listing or that contract hasn't gone pending, so it's still not there. So I'll kind of give you one flow to know exactly how on top of everything at one glance without having to kind of pull out your calculator and do all the math for yourself. It makes a contact a prospect. So it moves your client transaction through the different zones for you. So the moment you put the contact as a prospect, I'll put it at 1 step. Once that prospect has kind of gone in and say, okay, well, now I'm ready to start looking. I've gotten pre-approved. Well, now they're more into the active zone. And then you'll be able to put them on the pending zone, because I know those sections were available in InTouch, but it was a little bit too much. It was too many buttons, they didn't really explain it that well. Now with Moxie, they've kind of made it a lot easier for the flow to happen, and the system does it for you as well. So as long as you're working with the system will work with you and keep you on track. So this is kind of like your personal assistant that won't be talking back to you as much, unless there's a glitch. But that's one of the ways that we could always use this tool for our benefit and for our clients' benefit as well. So here's a more active view with actual verbiage and names on there. So your daily outreach / stay in the flow, when you log into your dashboard and you have your contacts already uploaded, this is what you're going to see. Staying connected with your sphere will always pull up those 5 contacts on the top based on how recently you have communicated with them. So basically, you haven't reached out to this person in 3 weeks. You added them in your contacts, but that's it. You haven't done anything. So it's going to keep popping up on here. It'll give you options on how you could communicate with them. So it'll give you an option, let me email them, I'll call. Let me send them a neighborhood news. Let me set them up for a campaign. That way you're not personally giving them a call, but now they're going to be receiving a monthly newsletter or a potential buyer newsletter campaign on there. Another way where you could keep yourself on flow is like, okay, this person is my mom. She's not really looking, but I want to keep her on just in case. So you could skip that name on there and that person won't pop up. Mark as done. That way you can let the system know I reached out. Woo! That person won't pop up until maybe 3 weeks ago, three weeks again, or depending on how often you do that. And then the gear icon will always be there. That way you always have options to check on mail personal notes, call, email, right on through there. So there's that little gear in each one of those contacts sections. So like I mentioned, that little gear is how you'll also be able to adjust the settings on how you want the system to update you, how those 5 contacts are going to be pooled. So you're able to let the system know, hey, I only want to work with people that haven't reached out in 90 days. And the system will go through the activity log and check those past 90 days, and it will auto-populate for you. Or if you're really on top of it, you want every 30 days. I want to do a touch point with all my contacts every 30 days, and I want it to be all of my active people because, well, they're the ones that are on the market, they're seeing everything that's been listed, and they want to see what's new. So this is going to be a way where you can organize yourself, keep yourself on track by letting the system know, hey, I want you to keep me on track for these details. So now, how are you going to become that influence for your sphere? So of course your sphere is all of my people, your people, all the contacts that you make. So either it's your past buyers, past sellers, potential clients, your kids coach, teacher, your nail tech, your therapist, anyone could be part of your sphere. So we're going to be able to put them under my people, manage contacts, save search, and track special dates on there as well under activity. Let me double check in my chat. Monique, thank you. We got some great feedback from Monique. Yeah, we've been working on the stay in the flow, and I'm glad that you're taking benefit because it's really fun that it's just come on there, it pops up, and it keeps you really in the flow. So the verbiage is very straightforward. My people will help you stay in the flow with your people. But now that we've known that our contacts are now under my people, we'll be able to add people, view our people, edit the groups, all in those sections. So once we hit that little people button on our dashboard, we'll have the different ways to organize our contacts. You'll always have that add people blue button where you can add an individual, one contact at a time. You could organize your contacts through filters. So let's say groups, contact groups. I'll have all sorts of other like listing alerts set up, campaigns, things like that. Category wizards will kind of do it for you, help you out on that part. Or you could sort them out to make it easier for you to organize them. It will also let you know how many contacts you have right up front. Not like InTouch where you had to hit the little box next to name and then it will select all of them and then it will tell you. This one actually tells you straight up without having to push buttons. And also have buttons straight onto each contact where it will make it easy for you to contact them. So if you're on your computer, click the phone, it'll pull up the phone number and could give them a call right away. So that's all under My People. So once you've entered a contact, you hit My People. This is what the contacts dashboard or their profile will look like. You'll have an option to have the contact info, and then it has a whole nice list of as much information you could have for each contact. So name, phone number, email address, firstborn, partner's name, anniversaries, all of that. It gives you an option to do that. Or you could be as minimal as possible, which is first name, last name, phone number, or email. You'll also have a spot for your notes, your activities, so how often you're interacted with them or how often they have interacted with you, what groups they're a part of, and what category are they? Are they a client or are they not a client? Are they a client that is a buyer or are they a client that's a seller or a client that's both a buyer and a seller? So it's going to be, you'll be able to kind of keep yourself on track by organizing each contact within its own flow of contacts or a flow of campaigns that you're able to set up. So it's a lot, I know, but the category, there's a wizard in there that will help you organize a lot of your stuff. We want to make sure that you're using your groups. Your group settings will be your best friend. It'll help you kind of siphon through your seller groups, your buyers, and kind of really organize your campaigns, your points of contacts with each status of that. Also, your categorize will put a contact in a certain category based on your sales flow. So it'll make it, so it really depends on how you are utilizing this tool. It's a partnership between us and the tool. The tool won't know what categories they need to be if we don't let them know that Allie is a past seller and I want her to stay on that past seller path. But the system needs me to give them that information. So it's going to be a good partner for us to really rely on this tool to give it all the information to really help us in the future, to really, whenever we're in the bind and we're just overwhelmed, all we really have to do is look into the system. Okay, who are my past sellers? Because we've already done the work ahead of time, it'll be a lot easier for us to take advantage of this tool when we are that stressed. So it's good to make sure that we are using those statuses, you are using those groups, you are using those categories for those emergency dates that come in and have an easier way to stay in contact with them. They have made it, the tiles, we're used to seeing tiles a lot more, so that's the same thing with the categories. They've made it a lot more tile friendly, so it's a lot more front and center for us to visualize it for us. So contact categories. So there's a couple ways that you can organize your contact. So it really makes it a lot easier for you. It picks up all of the categories and all you really have to do is, okay, well, Brianna is a past client, but she's also being the potential market. And it will help you say, okay, well, this is how you should market to them. This is how you should reach out to them. And it will help you connect with Brianna in a certain way that will make her feel comfortable with you. You want to make sure that you're building that relationship. And by using this tool to its full advantage, it will really make you that expert in that neighborhood. It will really make you feel confident in reaching out to your potential buyer, seller, and say, hey, you are in good hands. I have all of my resources. I know them like the back of my hand, and I'll be able to guide you, whether it's a holiday vacation and the staff is out, or you're on vacation and something happened in the middle of something and you needed to send something out to that potential client. Well, MoxiEngage will have all of the information in there, and you can literally just send them a text, send them an email straight from Engage on that. So it's going to be a really awesome tool. The agents that have already used it already are having a lot of benefit from it, and it's helping them stay on top of mind. Track special dates, those purchase anniversaries, those selling anniversaries. Those are always fun to celebrate, and also gives you an option to post it on social media, show off your success, show that excitement. Purchasing a new home is a really life-changing experience, and we want to make sure that you are their partner in that excitement. So keep track of those options, keep track of that information. It'll pop up on your calendar, say, hey, it's Ellie's first year anniversary, and it'll give you an option, say happy house anniversary, send a loop and tie gift, or call them. And this is another way that they will say, hey, well, I haven't reached out to Monique in a while. I hadn't talked to her, but I didn't know it was my 1 year anniversary. How exciting. And then now her friend is ready to buy a house, and Allie's like, well, Monique, she reached out to me. It was my 1 year anniversary. Didn't you know that? She's going to be a perfect agent for you. So it's going to help you connect with that client, and that client to connect with you and the rest of their personal sphere. And then your sphere is going to grow. So they're giving you a lot of options to really take advantage and make it your own. One of the other great things that you're able to do within this program is set up neighborhood news, listing announcements, and campaigns. So all of those things we were able to set up in InTouch. Those listing alerts, those little blue houses that I had been talking about, well, those are able to be set up through MoxiEngage as well. Neighborhood news, like I mentioned, is like a market report. It's a monthly market report that gets sent out to both sellers and buyers, or just a passive clients, passive sphere that just wants to know what's happening within their own neighborhood. So that's one of the things that you could do through there. And the campaigns and overviews. So some of the marketing options that were available through InTouch will also be a part of here. There is that Moxie Impress option that is coming up, but all of this is just within Engage on it. So the neighborhood news, this will keep your sphere of influence updated monthly with an email that includes live market data. So it'll also let them know what listings have gone up on the market, has sold, or any pending statuses on there for that specific area. So this is also one of the features that's on your website. People that are able to go on your website, they could sign themselves up for a neighborhood news alert. They will pop up on your Engage as a lead. So there's two ways they could set themselves up. So either they set themselves up through their website, through your personal website, or you could set them up automatically onto there. So basically you'll go to My People. So if you already entered me as a contact, you could go under My People, under subscriptions. So this is the Allie's dashboard. On the left-hand side, you'll see subscriptions, and that's where you'll be able to pop up those sections. Hit add a subscription, and then you'll be able to enter that specific neighborhood that they want. And then you'll be able to either do a quick or customize that neighborhood information. You'll also be able to keep track and set up multiple people on neighborhood news. So if you know, let's say you have your group, your contact group for all of the Monterey County leads, or your Monterey City leads, or you have your other leads with the Capitola City leads, and you only want to send them the Capitola ones. Well, this is where your benefits of the groups will come in, where you could sign up those groups for that particular neighborhood news and not have to reduplicate it all the time. So those are options where you could take advantage of the groups. and then the multiple setup groups as well. So there's a lot of ways to utilize those shortcuts and make a benefit for yourself on that.
Quick question, Genevieve. Do the area reports and the market reports go away?
No. So the market reports and the area reports in Prospect Square will continue going. Okay. So they are working on kind of unifying Prospect Square and Moxie because they're both more of a CB integrated tools. InTouch didn't want to work with us on connecting Prospect Square within their CRM. So this is going to make it a lot easier for agents without having to navigate through different portals. So you could, nothing's going to go away with your market, with Prospect Square. So everything that's set up there is going to stay the same. Nothing's going to get affected.
Got it. Thank you.
You're welcome. And then that's another way too, is let's say you have them set up for listing alerts in InTouch, or you have them set up on a monthly newsletter in InTouch, and you're ready to gear up and stay away from those newsletters. You're going to deactivate those. This is another way where you could reach out to that particular contact and say, hey, how have you been doing? It's been a while since we've been in contact, wanted to check in. Also, are you still receiving my newsletters? Just wanted to let you know that my newsletters will be changing, and please save that new email, or something like that. That way you're doing a little nice warm touch with them and reminding them like, hey, keep an eye out for my new newsletter. It'll have new information on there. And that way you're not forcing a cold call, because those are a little intimidating. So if you have a more of a reason, a nicer reason to reach out to them, this is going to be a good opportunity to do that, is just going in and reminding them to save your new email so it doesn't go to the bulk section. So with the neighborhood news, you'll also be able to kind of set up the little newsletter, welcoming email as well to get that information going. So you could do a custom search. You could draw the circle. So either you could do it by zip code, but it won't only allow you to do one zip code at a time. So it's either one zip code or a drawing. It won't allow you to do two. We are working on that. I know InTouch had the capability of adding multiple zip codes on those sections, and we are working on getting that into MoxiEngage. But in the meantime, you can do the draw section, and under draw, it gives you the option to do a multi-draw. So allow you to draw multiple circles. So it won't allow you to enter multiple zip codes, but it will allow you to draw multiple sections on there. That way you could still get the flexibility of those variety of sections all in one newsletter. So that is one workaround right now. But like I mentioned, it's in the works, because I know that isn't going to work for all of us. On that. So the neighborhood news example is going to look similar to this. This is an email newsletter. It'll always have your contact information on there. It'll have a link. So this is why it's good to reach out to those contacts beforehand to let them know, hey, that email is mine. It is real. If you click on it, you're not going to get scammed, or you're not going to get, there's no issue with that link. And that way you're still opening up that conversations with them. Once they open it up, it'll give them a list of any listings that went up, any price changes, anything like that on the bottom. It'll also give them a little market report along with it. So market chases, the prices, the median prices, anything like that. So with those people that love stats, to love to know what's going on in their neighborhood and how much their neighbor's house sold, this will be a good option for that, for the sellers as well, or the buyers that are still on the fence, which is not really good because these fence are flying off the shelves. So this could be another way you could say, hey, I'll give you the neighborhood news. You're not ready, but just just see how fast they fly off the shelf, and maybe that will encourage them to move on forward with it. So another thing here, this is going to be an example. If they go onto your website, they'll be able to request that information, and then you'll be able to start getting that lead as well. So it's going to be a good option to get that company lead or get that contact additional information. So now you'll be also able to set up listing alerts under My People. And the listing alerts are now called faves and saves. So faves are what that client liked. So they heart that little property. I'll let you know that they faved that property. Saves are any listing alerts that you have saved for them. So they're going to be under that person's dashboard, right under faves and saves. That's how you're going to be able to view them. You'll be able to set them up under listing announcements. This one, actually, now I'm getting my ducks mixed up because this is the listing announcement. And that is a little different from the faves and saves. So actually, let me rewind. Listing announcements is when you have a new listing or a just sold, the system will automatically just reach out to your clients to let them know, hey, I sold something or I listed something. And that's going to be part of the subscription section. Jumped my good on there. And so you also, so let's say you have client agents on there. Those are the ones those are the contacts you're going to want to have a listing announcement set up for them. So you can reach out to your MCAR or SCAR real estate association, get the most updated contact list from them, and then you could import them as those particular groups. Because I know you might have one from like 2020, which is completely different from what we have 2022. So it's good to have that updated list. You'll have that updated list, add those into that groups, and then you'll be able to do a multiple setup for all of that email group to receive your listing alerts. So this is another option if you're not using Listing Concierge, where it automatically sends out a listing alert for you. This could be your option where you could reach out to your contacts as well on your own. So one of the other sections is campaigns. So those are going to be seasonal home maintenance. So something that you want to do a touch base either on a quarterly basis, monthly basis, or special holiday basis. You'll be able to also set those up under the campaign section. You'll have a library preset up. So they have the corporate templates that you could use, and you could customize them from there. Or let's say you have a customized template, you could upload that as part of your library and then reuse that template. So similar to what was in InTouch on your newsletters and your campaigns, you'll also be able to set them up through here as well. And there will be campaign buttons, so you could add a campaign from the library to your own campaigns, and then you'll be able to update the names. So I know they have pretty generic campaign names. You'll be able to go in and personalize it, make it a lot more fun and eye-catching. And then you'll be able to also add them to either one particular contact or by group. And then you'll have that you'll run that campaign, and you could leave it, set it and forget it, and have it consistently touch point with your contact on there. And also it'll let you know how many campaigns you have or how many email touch points each campaign has. That way you know exactly when it's going to end and where you could restart the next one going forward. So thank you so much for letting me ramble on. And I know I have a lot. MoxiEngage is going to be a new fun tool where you could go in and really play around and have that consistent contact with your leads. I really recommend using me as a contact. Set me as a test contact. Send me listing alerts. Send me campaigns. practice. This is going to be your new place where you will have this consistent, natural flow to contact with your leads without being forced, without having to, this is going to be too much homework, this is going to be a lot. It will do that 5 contacts at the time, 5 a day. Will keep the stress away. So this is going to be a new way to kind of get into that flow and then stay in the flow for 2023 and on. So you could go ahead and unmute yourself if you have any questions. Thank you, Monique. You're very welcome. I'm glad. I've had a pleasure working with you. So I'm glad that you're excited to continue with this. I will be hosting an in-person workshop tomorrow in the Carmel area at Carmel Rancho, and then I will be hosting an in-person one in Aptos on Friday. So those are going to be coming up next week. I will also have another virtual call, and then a in-person workshop in each area. I will be uploading this video onto YouTube. I'll attach the presentation, and I will be having a lot more office hours in each office. That way you could come in, drop by, bring your laptop, bring your computer, and then we could get to work on all of your stuff. So thank you so much. I'm going to stop sharing and stop the recording.